In Liz we trust. How are you, Richard?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm good. We kept people waiting.
We
I hate
we
that.
built some suspense there, which is what we like to do here.
I know. Richard was out drinking again and had to get him back in here.
Yeah.
All right, hi everybody. Hi JC, you're the first. Hey, welcome. Hey, Anne Sophie, how you doing? Oh, Dickie, God, I love her already. But there is no Dickie today because today is Dickie's day. So no one but Martin can say that. It is.
I'll allow it this once.
This is all you. Yes, America has bestowed this your day, don't you know?
Very kind of America. Thank you.
How's Adrian doing? You guys get over and subscribe to Adrian. He's doing all kinds of amazing things, including the book club. What's the next book, Richard? Do you want to do a quick plug for him?
Well, I can tell you what book it isn't. It isn't this book.
But it will be in the future.
It may be at some point. Who knows? You know, who's to say?
Who knows? Who knows? Okay. Hey, CB. Good to see you. Chris, Kenny, and Amelia. Hello, you two. Love you to bits.
He's turned up for you, not me, because we know it's like way past his bedtime.
I feel him on that bedtime. As we age, we have to get more sleep. Hey, Savion, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. Eva. Yes, Dickie has a new book. Oh, he does.
I think they've been colluding.
Well, when you put those two together, who knows what'll happen. Ben's here. Hey, Ben. Hey, Ben. Good to see you, my friend. And Cool Gamer, hello. Good to see you. All right, we are about to jump. Oh, I see Angela's here. Hello. Real quick, Richard, everybody knows who you are. You're famous the world over.
Mm-hmm.
But for the two people in the world that don't know you or that don't work for Royal Mail, let people know who you are and why they should love you as much as we do.
Well, what can I say about me, Barrett? I'm Richard. I'm a thriller and science fiction author from the UK. Who'd have thunk? I write, thrillers and horror stories. My kind of sort of raison d'etre is to kind of take the mundane things we know in our real life and turn them into kind of scary, spooky stories by kind of taking them to that next level. So that's kind of what I try to do. Moderately successfully, I like to add. And yeah, I just want to say Price War is my new book. Please consider buying it or downloading it on Kindle Unlimited. If you want to find out more stuff about me, because who doesn't, then you need to do one thing and one thing only. Subscribe to my newsletter. See, I found it.
The link can be found in the description box below, as well as the links to all of Richard's books that you can purchase through Amazon.
Please do buy them. I do like the money.
Yes. Richard's a big fan of money. Okay, before we get into how much Richard loves money, let's talk first about all the monies we're going to give away through giveaways today, Richard. How about you go first? In the UK, you're giving away 2 bright and shiny signed copies of
this. Possibly this very copy. Who knows? I've got more on the shelf, so, we shall see. But yes, if you want to be in the running for a signed copy, and it will come with a couple of goodies as well that you're not seeing. So imagine that. Then use the hashtag Price War in the chat. Just to let you know, the giveaways for the physical books are UK only, unfortunately, because postal workers and delivery people don't seem to like anything I send. So yeah, happy to send this to you. I will sign it personally. I will write a personal message. I will make this book for you totally unsellable.
I was going to say, what if they ask you not to sign it?
That'd be very rude, really, to ask me not to sign it.
Well, I can only think of 2 that would. But here is
I think you're in the chat as well.
The next booktuber pick, I wanted to throw this up, is Mythic Shadow of the Spark, Adrian's book, launching April 30th. Very excited for that, so look for that. Richard, are you on the panel?
I believe so. Thanks for drafting me. Surprise.
Yeah. You're in. Oh, I don't know who's in.
So I believe next month it's going to be a case of let's get mythical with Adrian's book.
I like that. First of all, what a cold day in heck this is that CB and Richard are 100% on the same page on an issue.
I'm scared too.
But there it is. So buy your lottery tickets, friends. It has happened. The day has come They have found common ground on the postal workers delivery people. I hear about it all the time, CB, from Richard. Bless.
Adrian, if Martin wants to buy my book, which would be nice if he did buy my book, and then sign it and then pay to send it to you, then fine. Martin, your copy can have whatever geometric shape you want in it.
Eva wants a signed copy, but a random person that you meet at the post office.
Well, it depends who picks it up on the van, I suppose.
We cannot. This is not a roast for Richard. We are celebrating the book. We are excited about Price War. That is the paperback. Here is the ebook version. So if you're in the UK or Canada, I will send you a gifted copy, because I can do that. But if you're outside the United States and Canada, then I will have to ko-fi you some money to purchase the book on your own. So I'm giving away 4 of those today. Let's give one away. Are you ready?
And if you don't use Barrett's money to buy my book, then he will do something. I didn't think that through. But he'll be very annoyed, and so will I.
I'll be so sad. Okay, so let's do this. Let's throw up the giveaway tool, and we'll give one away. What you have to do is do #PriceWar in the chat, and that enters you. So we're going to give you just a second to throw your hashtag out there for a free ebook.
Free ebook, if you like.
A free ebook giveaway of Price War. It's really good. Imagine. Well, we're going to give you more of that in a minute, because we're going to read you a little bit. So Richard is in charge of the giveaway tool. What could possibly go wrong? Hey, Esther, welcome.
Let's not answer that question.
You tell. Oh, hey, Tiff. Welcome, Tiff. You tell me when you think you've got enough entries in.
Let's do a thing. Let's do a thing.
Do it.
Doing it. Oh, I need to press draw now, don't I? Oh, whoops.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I was like, wait, what's happening? Very anticlimactic. Ooh.
Oh.
Is it an American?
Yay!
Laura. Okay, Laura, I know how to reach you. Laura, I will send you a copy of Price War on the, I'll reach out to you, Laura, just to see if I have the right email for your Kindle. But we'll get in touch, and I will get you a copy. Congratulations, Laura, for winning our first giveaway. I'm giving away 3 more today, ebooks just like that. And Richard has 2 copies for some lucky folks in the UK for a signed copy. Does that do the whole EU, or are we just UK? I zoned out a little bit on what your rules were.
Let's just say UK only.
UK only.
Let's not mention the EU, please, because that'll just start Martin off. And I'm not
sore subject. Sorry, it's too early for it, friends. We can't go there. All right, well, let's do this. We've started our first giveaway. Richard, do you want to do a little plug of the book before I do the reading?
I can read the blurb for you if you like.
Do it.
I need to remember what the tagline was. Hold on 1 second.
Hold on, I actually have that up.
You think I'd remember my own tagline, but apparently not.
You have so much to remember.
Well, I didn't write this thing, so there was lots to remember. Okay.
Yeah.
So the tagline for this book is, when the cost of doing business is blood, one man must save what's left of his family from paying the price. There's 2 puns in there. One of them you won't get until you read the book. Yeah, I feel sorry for Anne now, but she may win an ebook. Who knows? Anyway, in a future warped by traumatic events, the people of the UK come to rely on the retailer Yellowstone for their every need. The futuristic company is a newcomer to the country, but its technologically advanced ways pamper a weary populace with convenience at a price, and the convenience soon becomes a necessity. Danny Price is one of a lost generation who seems to be going nowhere in this harsh future. After losing most of his family, he moves in with his last remaining relative, his grandmother, or Nan, who has her own secrets to keep. Others are wary that Yellowstone's ambition can't be controlled by the bounds of laws and morals. Their companies scrabble to secure their stake before it's too late. When Danny interviews at Yellowstone, he realizes that the sacrifice he needs to make is too great. He doesn't realize that Yellowstone know all about him and the danger to their hegemony he poses without even knowing it. When the battle in the ballroom spills over to a hostile takeover of every town and city in the country, Danny is the one man who stands to fight the price war against all the odds. How does that sound?
Great.
I'd read that.
I would as well. That's funny. Martin wins for that. I'm going to send him one just for that. Oh, I can't. He's in the UK. Martin. All right. I'm going to do a reading from the prologue, and then we're going to have a little discussion afterwards. So we're going to read the prologue, get your questions together for story, character, all those things for our author. Toss those questions out, and he will star them for me while I am reading. Here we go. This is the prologue for Price War. On any other day, at any other time of year, Acacia Close was quiet, anonymous, and tucked away. There were hundreds of Acacia Closes or crescents or drives, all identical in their bland conformity to the suburban dream. But this Acacia Close was to prove the flashpoint. Beyond the asphalt at the end of the road where it met Oak Crescent, Acacia Close ceased to be. That day wasn't any other day. It was an anonymous summer day that would propel this Acacia Close into history, though none of the residents of the 18 detached houses quite knew it when it happened. As the trees moved in the breeze, the leaves making that whoosh sound that leaves do when moving in unison, a diesel engine gurgled, getting louder and more definite with each passing moment. The rattle followed the vehicle as it rounded the corner from Oak Crescent into Acacia Close and dissipated as the van stopped outside number 14. Doors clunked at the back. Swallowing hard, the driver trooped up the 10-foot driveway to the door. He pushed the ringer, and inside the house, muffled by the masonry, the bell rang with a two-tone ding-dong. "Come on, love," the driver said to the door. The door didn't reply, and neither did it open. He glanced over his shoulder, fidgeting. A buzzing sound had followed him that whole afternoon. Hurry. With the buzzing came pinpricks of heat on the back of the driver's neck. It was 2 p.m. Surely they'd all be at work instead of... "Where the hell have you been?" the woman said, cracking the door open. She glanced past the delivery driver to his van. It was an anonymous, blank van, milk white, like her face had turned. She grasped for the cardboard box in the man's hand. "Get that out of here, for Christ's sake." "You'll need to sign," he began, but as fast as the parcel left his hand, the door swept closed. The driver shook his head and turned around. The PDA in his palm croaked to life. He squiggled with his finger something that looked like a signature. They never checked. Plus, the old bag had her parcel now. He pulled out the keys to the van and opened the door. He stopped, his hand on the handle. It was that mysterious buzzing sound again, like a swarm of little hornets driving lawnmowers. "Crazy," he said, clambering into the van. He put the key in the ignition and turned. The van vibrated, the engine rattling back out of its brief sleep. He reached over to grasp the seatbelt, but didn't put it on. It'd keep. This would prove a wise decision. With a clunk, he put the van into reverse and clicked the handbrake off. Lifting off the clutch, the engine gripped, and it shuddered backwards a couple of feet. The driver stamped on the brake after hearing 3 loud thumps on the side of the van. He turned his head. By the door was a man in a helmet. He pulled on the door handle. It clicked, and the door squealed. "Out! Out!" a voice screamed from inside the helmet. The driver looked to the passenger side. A few old manifests littered the seat. The passenger door opened. It was another figure in black leathers with hot pink piping along the seams. The driver felt himself being dragged out of the van and onto the patchy concrete surface. "What do you want?" "I ain't got no cash, honest," the driver yelped. The first figure loomed. Underneath the helmet were piercing petrol blue eyes and a cloth covering across the rest of the rider's face. "You know what this is." The driver glanced at the logo on the leathers, stitched with the pink piping. You're them. What do you want from me? I ain't who you're looking for, I swear." "This is a yellow zone, you know that." "Yeah, but... and you know what that means. You don't belong here." "I'm not from them," the driver yelled, holding his hands up in terror. "I'm just from the..." "Shut it," the writer said. "It's a yellow zone. Doesn't matter. Your kind ain't welcome here. Your van might as well be blue as the fucking sea, and I don't like the sea." What do you want?" the driver said, scrabbling until he was up against the tire of his van. He glanced behind the van. There, a group of 5 identical mopeds with black and pink panniers parked in a semicircle, blocking him in. He heard the doors opening and grunting with effort. "Hey, those packages ain't yours." "You gonna do anything, pig?" The lead rider laughed, taking off his helmet. A shock of stark blonde hair appeared. Then the driver yelped as the lead rider thrust his boot into his side. With a hiss, the driver fell over. "Watch him," the lead rider said to one of his companions. Then he looked in the back of the van, then to a pile of parcels dumped on the pavement. "Nice. This one was worth following. Now he's on our turf." "Hey, Ice Blue," another called. "What should we do with this lot?" "Set light to it outside her house," he said, gesturing to number 14. The driver followed the lead rider's eyes. A curtain in the house twitched. She'll know better, and it'll be a warning to the others. The 4 other riders laughed, tossing the pile of parcels onto the AstroTurf lawn of number 14. One walked back to their scooter and pulled out a plastic bottle of clear liquid. The bottle had the scuffed remains of a sticky label, but the van driver had a good idea of the contents. Each rider took a bottle and threw the fluid over the pile of parcels. The sharp chemical stench of petrol permeated the air. Another rider flicked a flint lighter, and the parcels erupted with a dirty orange flame. Black smoke soared skyward. In the houses on the opposite side of the street, curtains twitched, but not a single door opened. What was to happen would be left unimpeded. Nobody dared be a hero. Quivering, the driver clenched his eyes shut as the lead rider, Ice Blue, came over. "Take him," Ice Blue said. The others shuffled, pulling the driver closer to the fire with a rough shove. The wind heaved, pushing smoke from the fire across and around the van. Wispy threads enveloped the driver. The stench of smoke from the fire went down into his lungs with each pitiful breath. "Please don't do this to me. I'm just doing my job. I didn't mean to cause trouble." "And I'm doing a job too," Ice Blue said, kneeling down. He got up and nudged one of the fellow riders with his elbow. "Reckon he's had enough?" The other rider snorted. "Any more and he'll probably piss his pants, piece of shit that he is." "Ooh," Ice Blue said, balling a fist and theatrically pulling it back as if he was drawing an invisible bow. "Don't," another rider said. The lead one gave a glance and not a friendly one. "We ain't got that right, if he ain't one of—" "Fine." Ice Blue took a deep breath and lowered his hand. He knelt and slapped the van driver's face. "Little bitch you are, you're going to come back here. Ever again?" No, the van driver whimpered. "Never again, I promise you. This is a yellow zone. Always has been, always will be. Now take your piece of shit van out of my sight before my good turn goes away," he said, pushing the prone driver over. The driver took a big snotty snort and picked himself up, throwing himself into the van, gunning the engine into reverse. He spun the van around at the end of the close in a cloud of loose gravel. The driver glanced in the mirror once, watching his deliveries burn beside the riders. Then, with a squeal of tires, the van vanished behind of acacia close. The news had talked about the battle in the boardroom against angst in the aisles, but what had happened in acacia close was something new. The residents watched as, in a plume of grotty black smoke, the price war turned hot, like they'd all feared. Ta-da! I only messed up there where the misspellings were just atrocious.
Yeah. Did you say my misspellings were atrocious?
Hire with a Y? What does that even mean? What is petrol? Good point, Adrian. What is petrol?
Well, this book is written in British English, aka proper English. So
I'm just teasing. No, it's good. It's good. So, Richard, did you star comments while folks were chatting?
I did.
Okay, good. So, do you want to go through theirs first?
Yeah, let's go through what the audience had to say, because I just want to say thanks to everyone for listening to that. It's the first time I've actually heard that read out loud, and I was thinking, for us, it's actually quite good.
Love when that happens. Well, good. I'm so glad. I love this question. Are you proud of this book, Just Eva?
100% yes. So I kind of feel this book is certainly an evolution on my previous work. I've kind of taken all the lessons that I could from that and integrated it into my process for this book, just trying to make it just better structured, better written, sort of better concept. Because I am a big firm believer that if a writer says they know everything, they're a liar. Because you should be learning something new with every single project you do. And I feel with this book, I learned a lot because my previous book was the little novella Nightmare Tenant, which is good fun. I'm not saying that's a bad book, but this is certainly, I feel, taking all the lessons I learned in that process and just kind of enhancing my craft. And you know what? It's going to happen again with the next book. You know, I'm going to learn more, you know, do better every time. That's my kind of ethos anyway.
Well, since you touched on Nightmare Tenant, the link of Nightmare Tenant is also found in the description box of this, as with all
Buy
of
that too.
But yes, let's talk about this question from Eva, which is a great follow-up since you mentioned Nightmare Tenant with Price War. Is this or your debut your favorite so far?
I think this is my favorite because I've had this idea kind of rattling around my brain for quite a while. And after Nightmare Tenant, I was thinking, like, what do I want to do next? Because again, I got out of that and I thought, okay, I had fun with that. What next? I didn't want to sort of think. I didn't want to be like a Harper Lee, write one book and then, you know, disappear into a nursing home or anything like that. I realised, yeah. And I didn't want to leave any unfinished books in a safety deposit box for my agent to steal when I'm too loopy to know anything better. But no, you're laughing because it's true, Barrett. You're laughing because it's true.
No.
I have to say this is my favourite. I think the story's really good. It's kind of gone through a real evolution since my first kind of like inkling of an idea. And the main kind of idea for me was I had that kind of prologue in my mind's eye for quite a while. The whole idea is like a sort of neutral van into enemy territory getting attacked wrongly. And this kind of like Mad Max style kind of like armoured delivery vans forcing each other off the road, stuff like that. So yeah, that is certainly where it kind of came from. I thought, you know what, this will make a good series because I've never written a series before. I thought, let's give it a go. And I thought, you know what, quite proud of this one. I think there's a lot. I think a lot of people have taken a lot from it as well, which has surprised me and quite pleasantly as well.
Well, let's go to JC's question, which is all about the inspiration for the book and the story. Where did that come from without giving too much away?
I know there's certainly one book I read recently, which was The Warehouse by Rob Hart, which is a kind of thriller that I took a bit of a punt on, which also talks about a large retail corporation that seems to go awry. We're not going to name anyone. Amazon. Sorry, I've got a bit of a cough there. So that kind of inspired me to kind of add this kind of like Amazon-y twist to it, because I kind of feel that, like I said in my intro, I kind of want to take kind of present issues now and kind of extrapolate them to an extreme for a story. And obviously a lot of us are quite concerned that Amazon is kind of starting to dominate everything. So what if they literally got their tendrils into the actual nuts and bolts of a country, for instance? So I kind of thought that would be kind of a cool twist to add to it. I kind of feel it was successful as well. Your feelings may be different. I hope they are the same. I feel I've succeeded with this. But yeah, that's kind of my kind of goal for it. And I think it's been a good process.
Has any of the feedback surprised you?
I have to say some of the sort of compliments I've got surprised me because I didn't think too much of this idea. I thought, it'd be a good idea. It'll be a shelf filler. But the more I kind of think about it, I think this is actually a good thing, and it has a message there, I think, which you can choose to ignore or not realize at all, but it's there and it makes a statement, so why not?
Hold on,
does that answer the question?
Oh good, you're starring continued questions as they come. Thank you.
I am, yeah.
Appreciate that. I was like, I can't do both. Okay, I love this question just because. Is the sequel price cut?
Is the sequel price cut? Sadly not. The sequel is actually, the title is revealed at the back of the book. So if you buy/win/read this, you'll find out what the sequel is called.
How long did this take you to draft? And did you use editors? And was his name Dan?
Yes, my editor's name was Dan. Is Dan. He's still alive. He hasn't... Nothing's happened.
He has a YouTube channel.
He does. Someone should go and find Dan Hook's YouTube channel and put it in the comments. Do it now. Took me about sort of 3 months to draft the first draft. Then it kind of went ping pong in the editorial stage. So it took from basically start to finish about a year to go through all those edits, things like that. Yeah. Could have gone a bit quicker, but my kind of goal for the release was to get it out before March the 7th, which would have been the 1-year anniversary of me finishing the first draft. So I don't think that's too bad of a time scale. I mean, I do want to kind of do it a little bit quicker next time, but we shall see. I mean, a year for how many pages is this again? 350-page book. I don't think that's too bad. And I think the quality is still there, because I didn't want to do what I did with Nightmare Tenant, which was, some would say, rush it a little bit, because near the end it got a little bit meaty, shall we say. So I took my time. I thought this will be out when it's ready, but I kind of had a deadline in mind.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to take a break from questions. We're going to throw up Eva's what she loved from the story, like a swarm of hornets, lawnmowers.
Thank you.
To all of that. That was a great line. All right, folks, you just have to put hashtag price war in the chat, and that will enter you to win.
Yeah.
Richard is going to restart the drawing, and we are going to give another away. Laura Nettles was our first winner. Hello, Jason. Good to see you, my friend. Doesn't matter when you get here, you can still get free stuff.
Exactly. So use the hashtag price war to get in the giveaway.
Exactly. Am I running this, or are
I'm running it?
You have it. Okay.
I'm running it. I'm in charge. Okay, we're going to draw again. Oh, this is exciting. I do hope I don't win.
Can't wait to ask that question. Well, isn't that fitting?
I will choose to re-roll if that's okay.
Pull it again, I would say, or re-gift.
We'll just draw it again. This is fun, this is.
I love the giveaway tool. Makes me feel like Oprah, but with less money. Okay.
We're going to re-roll.
Laura, you should buy a lottery ticket, because today is your day, Laura Nettles.
I should have done. Right, but we're just going to do it again. Okay. Third time lucky, folks.
This time is a charm. It was for me in my romantic relationships.
Excuse me.
Morgan Lee. All right, Morgan. You have a price war coming your way.
Also, if you win the book, please do review it on Amazon and Goodreads, because that really helps me.
Yes, please. Thank you.
And also rate it 5 stars despite what you actually think of it.
I like that. Books by Adrian says, what scene was the most challenging to write?
That is a very good question, Adrian. I'll give you a hopefully acceptable answer to it. I think the prologue took a few tries to get going, because I just wanted that to match what I had in my mind's eye and then match it with my new story concept. So there's also some kind of characterful scenes towards the kind of middle or end of the book that I tried to get right. I think the actual finale as well was I kind of built it up to like quite a solid thing. I was trying to think, how do I land this in the right place? But I think it all came together in the end.
It did. All right. What was your process like for writing the book? Did it differ from what worked for writing your previous works?
I'm going to make an enemy out of Adrian and said my process involves spreadsheets. No, basically, I took the lessons I learned from Nightmare Tenant, which was to use a plot outline, get my beats right, get my scene outline down, kind of started off with a big kind of, this is what I want to happen in the story, then progressively boiling that down to like what happens by point of view, like which character, because I think we follow about 2 or 3 characters throughout. I tried to keep it a little bit, didn't want to overdo it, because I'm not George R.R. Martin. I'm not writing a Game of Thrones yet. I'll actually finish it, by the way, instead of him, writing one chapter every 6 years or anything like that. Yeah. It was kind of a question of getting the bones together in the form of my outline. So I could just be like, okay, I'm going to write scene number, what is it tonight? Bish, bish, bish. I know what needs to happen, then I just do the writing. So it's not like I'm thinking, what next? Because I had it all planned out. I knew where the story had to go, but I left myself enough room to kind of go on a little wander, if that makes sense. So that worked really well for me, and I do it with all of my books now. So I have templates and spreadsheets everywhere, and it is blooming glorious.
Adrian wants to know, what is the thing you hate most about spreadsheets? No cheating, and you must answer the question.
The thing I hate most about spreadsheets is not having enough of them.
You know what, Adrian? You tried. You tried. JC says, as you write the follow-up to this book, do you find yourself feeling the need to go back and address anything from this book? Great question.
So originally my plan was to outline all 3 books in the series. By the way, there's going to be three. Exciting. That didn't kind of work because outlining is a bit of a weird beast, isn't it? Because you never quite know how long it's going to take. I could have spent 3 years outlining this series, but I wanted to get on with it. But because I've got it all in a kind of consolidated area, I can refer back to events, so I know what's happening. Am I going to go back and change this for when the next book comes out? No. I'm not George Lucas. I don't go back and change stuff constantly. And what's in here is basically locked at this point. So good decisions or bad decisions, I have to live with that. But yeah, that answers the question, I hope. It's not cheating, it's avoiding the question. So
all right, let's ask this. How did you select your excerpt?
I just told Barrett to read the prologue.
Did you no on your excerpt though, did you workshop it all? Did you put it in like a Discord or anything, get feedback from anyone and then ignore it?
Define excerpt, you mean
for your book, like for your on the back, your summary?
Oh, the
blurb.
Just say blurb.
Blurb.
Yes, I had a group of about 3 of my beta readers who read it, and I kind of bounced some ideas off them. I also have Bethany Rotal's very awesome Discord channel. That was a very useful resource. But with this book, I tried to keep the number of kind of chefs stirring the pot limited in a way, because I kind of wanted to feel like I wanted to streamline it. But yeah, I did get some help with the blurb. You know, I didn't just sort of go with my first instinct. Chris Kenny was a big help. He's always a very big help and a very big supporter.
Yes.
I hope he's still awake, by the way.
Yes, they are. They're in chat. I see them chatting.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And yeah, he was a very big kind of motivator. He's always, you know, pushing me to do a bit better and kind of, you know, giving me honest feedback. Because this is the thing with the feedback I got. I said to people, don't just say it's wonderful. Much as that's nice for me to hear, you know, nice for my ego, but it doesn't help the book.
Right. Richard is
I'm glad I had enough people who were honest enough and, you know, we had that kind of mutual respect enough to kind of be like, okay, we need to change this, this, and this. Here's my suggestion. I kind of all fed it all in and I took the aggregate of the feedback, to be honest. So.
Well, and Richard's kind of the don't pee on my head and tell me it's raining kind of person. So Just Eva said, will you have it translated to English as in what's used more globally?
No, because it's already in English. So, yeah.
All right, Eva, we'll still have to use our dictionaries. I don't know. Just teasing. Adrian, who are your storytelling influences? That's a great question.
I think I could boil that down to about 3 authors. We'll start with Michael Crichton, who is the king of the techno thriller. I think his books like Jurassic Park are so wonderful. He weaves such a...
the first book of his that you really connected with was Jurassic Park?
I think the first book of his that I read, then I read a few more. His books are kind of annoyingly hard to get hold of in print, which is annoying. But yeah, Jurassic Park, I think it worked really well. It's kind of like he built in this explanation of technology that seemed really real, and you could tell he put a lot of thought into it, but it was really accessible. So yeah, big fan of Michael Crichton. You know, I'm hoping that this book comes somewhat close to his kind of like abilities, and if it doesn't, I will learn to get there, because that man was an absolute genius. His books are just wonderful books. You know, can't beat him. Or other influences, I think British author James Herbert, who's basically the British Stephen King, who's very underappreciated. You know, I feel like he's wasn't appreciated in his life and isn't appreciated after he passed away. But he writes this kind of very unliterary, very kind of prose-centric, gutsy, visceral, some would say outdated, horror prose. And I kind of wanted to channel that kind of like very get into the meat of the story kind of prose. So yeah, not the proper literature you may be expecting. And the third one, trying to think who that could be. I'm just going to say J.K. Rowling, because I kind of feel a lot of my reading is, based on her. I've still got my old books, and reading them as an adult, I kind of feel has you kind of unpeel even more layers there that you may have not seen as a child. But yeah. So to conclude the question, it's Michael Crichton. Who was the second one? James Herbert and J.K. Rowling. So.
Justiva asks, biggest non-author, non-writer, non-creator that you're a fan of? And why is it Boris Johnson?
Oh, dear. Oh, we can't talk about that, can we?
I know.
I'm trying to think. Oh, yes. No, it is a creator. He's a musician. Jeff Wade, who did War of the Worlds. Love that album. It's a big influence to me. Love it.
Okay. Justiva says, if you had to describe your writing using only the names of well-known authors, how would you describe your writing? Which you kind of just answered a little bit in the last question, right? Working towards Michael Crichton?
Yeah, I think those three, I've kind of tried to distill what really works about those authors and kind of add my own twist to it as well. Hi, Nia. Nice to see you.
Double duty. Okay. Here we go. Joking because you were too controversial and love to cause conflict in answering. Yeah, that's true. If you could cast anyone for the inevitable Netflix adaptation, who would Colin Baker play?
He's referring to an old Doctor Who, so I think we can discount Martin's question as trolling.
No. Well, okay.
I haven't thought of the Netflix adaptation, though. That would be very good.
Esther Marie Andujar, hey Esther, asks how many books you think the series will have in total?
3.
Eva wants to know, does the book have a dedication? Will you share
it?
No,
it doesn't. And I will explain why it doesn't have a dedication, because with all of my self-published books, I don't put a dedication in there. It is blank page. The reason is I am saving that for my first traditionally published book, because I want to dedicate it to my parents.
Oh, Simple as. I love that. I love that. Chris Kinney says, follow up from Captain Lejeune. What role am I getting in the series?
I don't really believe in lazy cameos of friends. Though saying that, Chris, you were in Nightmare Tenant. You got to share a police car with Kent Shawn. What a wonderful experience.
Let's see. Books by Adrian. Will I remember? Yeah, that isn't probably happening anytime soon, but yes.
I'm certainly not helping, am I?
I feel quite little myself. No, I don't even. I honestly haven't looked in a while, so I don't even know what the number is.
9:33.
Look at that. Angela says, will you be writing a Price War Game of Thrones crossover fanfic that blows up with Gen Z and make bank?
Okay, my response to this is what is Gen Z, or as I would say, Gen Z, and what does make bank mean?
I think Gen Z is us. Richard. No, we're
millennials.
Wait, we're millennials. So Gen Z is right before us or after? Someone in chat.
Gen X was before us. I think Gen Z is the even more rotten generation after us.
Okay.
I mean, lovely generation. Please, I love you all. Please go buy this book. Do it now.
It's for all. It's for all. JD wants to know: would you use spreadsheets for bed linens?
To quote Martin Lejeune, spreadsheets before breadsheets. Bed sheets.
Does it go good with Marmite? I love
spreadsheets. Well, I am a very Marmite person. You either tend to love me or hate me. So
I was looking at the book. The book. Does the book go well with Marmite?
Yes, Marmite's lovely. Salty.
Yeah.
Tasty. I bet.
When do you find time to write if you're in everyone's chats all day? That might have been to me.
I'm going to get told off by Chris Kelly because he'll be like, Richard, you spend too much time pissing around on YouTube. You should be writing. I have actually started writing in the morning. So go me.
Oh, that is great. Good for you. All right. Gen Z is after millennials. So
I was right.
After us. You are right. You are right. I think Gen Z are the new young bucks that stay on TikTok for 7 hours a day.
Just 7?
Teens and 20s now. 95 to 2011-ish. So that's my people. Okay, Savion. Okay. And wait, what's Google? No, I'm just kidding. I know, just teasing. JC had a good one. What does your writing schedule look like? What is the best time of day for you to write? And you just kind of answered it, but what is it now?
I try to write in the mornings now. I try to sort of say, okay, this week I'm going to aim to do X number of words. I try to, obviously, I'm taking it a little bit easy on work days because, this poor brain is getting frazzled. But yeah, it's just kind of like constantly chipping away at it. So,
yeah,
little and often, I would say.
Yeah. All right, let's give a book away. Let's do it. All right, folks. Hashtag price war book number 3. And then I have a few questions for Richard. And then we're going to do a book giveaway bonanza at the end where we're doing some like.
So this is the third ebook, yeah?
Third ebook. Third. First one went to Laura Nettles. The second one went to Morgan Lee. The third is going to, who knows? Nailed it. Nailed it.
Well done. Well done, Eva. I look forward to hearing your thoughts on this.
Love it. Okay, I have a few questions about the book. Number 1, let's talk about your main character and the living situation.
Mm-hmm.
So talk to me a little bit about how you came up with that idea and how that impacts that character's journey.
So we're talking about Danny, right? Who
Yes.
He's moved in with his nan very recently because his parents and brother are no longer with us, apparently.
Yes.
So I think the kind of idea I was going for with that was that, he's had this kind of relationship with his nan when he was young, but has only kind of recently come back to her. So they're kind of like still finding each other again. So there's a lot between them they don't understand. He kind of feels that, she's trying to kind of mother him unnecessarily. It's not quite her place. So, yeah, there's a kind of a bit of tension there, I feel, between the two of them.
It's really organic and it's fun. And I'm curious how much of that is from your personal life or how much of that relationship is based in reality.
I don't think it's based 100% on my sort of, personal life, but yeah, I suppose it's kind of like I do relate to it not having either parent anymore. So it's kind of you have to reach beyond those kind of like immediate family bounds. So yeah, it's kind of interesting to kind of write his relationship and be like, but he does remain very committed to his family because he thinks, well, I don't have very much of it left. So I've got to kind of treasure what I've got, which is certainly a personal belief of mine. So yeah, I kind of put that aspect of my own personal situation into Danny, I feel. So he kind of has those kind of like morals and like he'll do stupid things because he wants to do the right thing for his family. So make of that what you will.
When it comes to the overarching themes of this book, how much of it is set up for future stories and how much of it is revealed by the end?
Quite a lot of it. There's a lot of kind of things that you're going to hear about in book 1 that are going to be answered in book 2 and book 3. There's a lot of allusion to Danny's brother Lewis, who is dead. ? But he is dead, or is he? Who knows? Read this and buy the second one, and then the third one. You might find out.
So let me ask you this. What do you hope a reader walks away taking from book 1?
That they enjoyed it, first of all.
Well, of course.
And I want them to kind of get to the end and be like, what is going to happen next? Because I kind of feel that really cliffhanger ending is what's going to kind of have people thinking, I want to see what happens now. I don't know if you would agree with that. That cliffhanger does have people thinking, wow.
Well, no, I think it's great. I'm curious as an author, like for your readers, what you're hoping they're talking to one another about on your newsletter email chain. Like, what is it that you hope, they take away from the story and go, hey, had you ever thought about this way?
Are you talking about when they start emailing each other? I mean,
yes.
I hope they email me first to ask me those questions. I just want them to say they enjoyed it. They want to know what happened. They want to know, because we start at a position where we have two very opposing kind of like points of view. Oh, bye, Chris. Thanks for dropping in.
Thanks.
I'm just going to say, I want them to be thinking, how has these two things that are so far apart in the beginning come together, and how is this going to mash together in the second book? Because I know the answer to that, but I want them to be thinking, oh, I want to know too. So they want to come along. So does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Knowing how much you love capitalism and defend it at all costs in every chat.
That's why I want people to buy this book.
I was about to ask, how does capitalism fare in this story?
I think capitalism, or the form of capitalism in this book, bye Esther, thanks for dropping in. What I've done with it, I've taken it down a particular road and kind of thought, okay, this is where we go into the more almost like anarcho-capitalist kind of like sphere of things. We go down that particular fork in the road, and it goes to quite an extreme where, they plan to take over the government, and then it's like, well, what happens there? And I kind of think I've built this interesting scenario with what happens when this power, and because obviously these people aren't elected, what happens when it does fall into possibly the right hands, or people that are doing it for the right reasons and people are doing it for the wrong reasons. So it's like, it's going to be that battle.
Yeah. Do you ever look at your own work, and does it change or impact your own personal beliefs on something like that? Capitalism?
Without wanting to get too philosophical.
Off camera. Well, no, and I don't mean get into the policy part, but just overall, when you and I talk policy stuff, does any of your own work ever impact your own viewpoint?
I would say the viewpoint in my book is not the same as my personal beliefs. Does get me thinking, but it doesn't change what I think. I think a lot of the opposites that I put in my books do lend themselves to interesting stories where things go like awry, go wrong, and get abused, kind of, that particular kind of position or perhaps leaning, which may or may not be related to my personal beliefs, which are irrelevant. We're not going to talk about that. Which is fine. I mean, that's fine. But yeah, the thing is, I am happy enough to be like, okay, this is what I believe as me, but my books can do something else because that's fine.
Yeah.
Well, I don't see my book not being funny. This is not an opportunity for me to lecture the audience, be like, right, let's stop having fun and do a lecture about what Richard thinks about politics.
Right.
No one's interested in that. If you are, then God help you.
He has a blog.
No politics on there. Certainly
I don't. No, I don't. What I more meant was, since I know that you're a big fan of capitalism, there are themes in this story that make the reader question what I talk about guardrails all the time. What guardrails should exist in spaces like that. And they might come away from a story like this and have a different perspective than when they began it, because it gives you a view of how something could go horribly wrong, which is what we all create, is stories where if stories were just, everything went great, nobody would read it.
It would be 3 pages long.
Exactly, not 387. So I'm just was curious in the question about, like, does your own work ever impact, your own thinking about a larger story or something happening in the world?
I'd be lying to say it didn't make me consider things. Hi Emma, good to see you. I wouldn't say it changes my core beliefs, because they are my core beliefs, but yeah, it's certainly an interesting, in a way, thought experiment to write something that's maybe not quite 100% aligned, but not very. Not very. I only mentioned one author who I'm not allowed to mention. Whoops. But it's fine. I just think it's important that I am able to kind of separate me from my books. I can have different viewpoints in each book. Some people obviously, in the books, they personify perhaps certain viewpoints. So, but yeah, I hope that answers the question,
Yeah,
I
it
haven't
does.
thought about it too much, but yeah, I do find it fun to kind of write the what if it all goes to total shit kind of viewpoint.
Right.
Because that is the story, isn't it?
It is. As you developed the idea of a corporation overtaking a nation, were you influenced by the history of the British East India Company?
I wasn't, because I forgot about that, but I feel I need to read up on it to see how much of that I can kind of intertwine and kind of add into the book going forward. But yeah, it's certainly an interesting kind of parallel to put in, because I obviously am aware of the kind of key facts there, that what happened, that they became very powerful, almost to the point where they weren't just like a company, they were like their own private kind of force. But I kind of feel, in a way, this book is like a modern retelling of perhaps my own interpretation of that.
That's interesting. Because what it gave me, and this is probably a uniquely American thing, but we've got this thing happening where we're privatizing lots of things that were for a long time institutionalized governmental jobs. Military, police are being privatized. Prisons, things that are being privatized. And then issues happen, right? Inevitably, usually associated with cost cutting and corner cutting in order for profits to rule over people. And stuff happens. So what was interesting to me about this book is it doesn't go into that. That isn't the point. But
I think it kind of touches on it a little bit.
It does. It for Americans, with the exception of the misspelling of tire, an American would read it and probably see parts of what's happening in our government right now with privatization of certain things and industries, or public goods, I guess, in the past. You see pieces of that, and the story kind of plays on what would happen if, it's just an interesting thought experiment, which is what we should all do. So, bravo on that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Take that compliment. Okay, real quick, I'm going to throw. Oh, here we go. Look at this. How did Gary guess? It was misspelled, Gary. Just like that.
It was not. They're saying that in the first page. I think there was an American.
Oh no, it's like the third. Like it was the second or third. I was like, tire? What? What's petrol?
I put in the first paragraph. I put asphalt where I should have put tarmac.
Gary, you're going to get in all kinds of trouble. Don't even talk about Margaret Thatcher. That is not what today is about here. Okay, Esther.
That kind of stream out. We're not talking about Margaret Thatcher.
Esther wanted to say congratulations. I think Price War is on KU, so I will read it there to give all the page reads. It is on KU.
It is.
So check it out over there. If you have Kindle Unlimited, be sure and check out Price War. And did I also see that Nightmare Tenant's on there as well?
Probably.
So
download and read that too, because then I get even more money.
Give page reads and make him insanely wealthy.
Just think, you're doing a favor in that you're giving me some of Jeff Bezos' spaceship money.
This is a wonderful question that I had myself as I was reading it. What made you self-publish this instead of query it?
So I still kind of have aspirations of being like a hybrid author, like doing indie books and some queried books when I eventually pull my finger out. I wanted this. This is ultimately a book and a series that is going to build my backlist. It's going to be one of the books on my Amazon as I collect more and more titles. Also, Eva, you did win while I was away. You were away.
I know, I'm saying you did.
Have the applause now. Good thing we kept that up. So ultimately, this is going to be a series that just basically fills up my Amazon shelf. So
yeah. That's great.
But it is my current release, so I'm obviously really thrilled with it. Obviously, once I have my next book, we're going to kind of take a different approach to it. We're kind of going to not sideline it, but kind of, run it in track until the whole series is out. So, ultimately it is destined for my backlist, but there's no shame in that. It's going to be good fun. It's going to hopefully kind of build my profile, so to speak.
I said to Richard before that I think this one's better than the last, which is always what Richard was saying. It's always supposed to be. So I thought this was a tighter story. I thought you engaged me. I loved it. You're growing. It's great. I'm so proud. Let's give a book away.
Let's do that, shall we? Is this the fourth ebook? Yeah.
My final giveaway of the day, and then you have 2 to go. We're going to do a giveaway bonanza at the end. Just like Oprah, except no cars. Oh, wow. I'm really pulling for Adrian. All right, Adrian. You're my final. So everyone that won, I will be in touch in the next 24 hours to make sure I have the right email address connected with your Kindle. And then I will gift you a copy of Price War by Richard Holliday.
That's me.
Ah, bless. Love it, love it, love it. Congrats, congrats, congrats. All right, how are we giving away our paperback copies? What do you want to do?
Shall we do another hashtag? Use the hashtag PriceWarUK if you want to be in the off for one of these two books.
That's really tame. I'm surprised you didn't do like hashtag God Save the King or, you know, hashtag.
I mean, you can do if you had, actually, let's do that.
Oh, no, Richard already did the Price War UK.
All right, he can enter it again. He doesn't get one anyway.
What? All right, anyone in the UK, you are vying for a paperback copy signed by Richard. It will be sent to you. Oh, yep, there we go. You will use the hashtag God Save the King because it's Richard.
Also, Adrian wants to draw again because he's already bought it.
Oh, sure. We could do that.
And I've got Martin to put God Save the King in the chat, so I'm going to screenshot that.
Bless. Bless.
Okay,
bless.
this is for the final ebook.
Ebook. I love Ben's Spread the Sheets UK.
Hey, JC wins.
Okay, JC, I got you. Except JC hates ebook. I'll check with her and see.
I'm gonna gift Ben something special just for that one.
That was really funny. That gave me a giggle, Ben.
So I need to go back
okay.
to...
So now we've got our UK winner coming up. We have 2 to give away. They are going to be signed, and Richard is going to send them to you Royal Mail.
Possibly not Royal Mail.
Oh, are they on strike?
We'll work it out. We'll work it out. Don't worry.
Okay.
I'm setting up the...
So even TB was saying they're on strike, and I'm like, what?
We'll work it out. It'll be fine. Okay, so that actually disqualifies you from the giveaway.
I owe you an ebook? I don't even know what for.
That's fine. You should be keeping a spreadsheet of these, Barrett.
Oh, please. Who has time for that?
Okay. Have we got at least 2 God Save the Kings?
I think so. I think
I like this one. Okay, let's start this going. Oh, we've got 4 entries. How exciting. We'll give it another couple of minutes or a couple of seconds. Oh, go on then.
That's up to you. Can you gift an ebook in Europe? Because in the US, I can't gift them outside of Canada. I think it's Canada, Mexico, US. I can't gift them, or else they don't get them. So.
And if you put God Save the King in the chat, we'll work something out, shall we?
Barrett, I won Margaret's. Oh, God. Okay. Well, did not remember. But yes, I'll send it.
There we go. Right. Let's do the first draw for the first paperback.
Put it up? Okay, go. Wait,
Barrett, you better not win this.
I was like, how did I get... Oh, because you put it on my name. I was like, how did I get in there? Martin gets 1. I love it. What could be better?
Can you write that down for me, please? Martin,
yes,
and I will be putting God Save the King in this book for you, Martin.
Okay.
Should we do the second one then?
Yeah, let's just do it. Let's go out with a bang. I feel like it's going to be...
Emma. It's Gary.
Okay.
The best thing about Gary is he lives right down the road from me, so I don't even have to post it. Wonderful.
Rigged.
Well,
I know. I know.
That Barrett stole the election.
Yes. Martin might accompany his 5-star review with a rating on your book's flammability. Rigged. Oh, for fuck's sake. I know.
You know what you can do, Emma? You can go onto Kindle Unlimited, download it, and then if you really want, buy the paperback as well.
I love that. You're like, if you really wanted, go and do page reads, then buy 2 copies, and then buy 4 for someone you hate.
And Emma did spell favoritism right here with a U, so.
Well.
So, Martin, I think to send it, to do it easier, I'll send it page by page. Is that all right? In envelopes? Easy to glue it back together.
I love this. Talk to me before we go about what you're working on. What's next?
Price War 2.
Price War 2? How's that coming?
So I'm over halfway done with it. So I put it down for a little bit while I was editing Price War 1, and picked it back up again this month. So I've kind of added another about 20,000 words to it, which is, getting back into it. Hoping next month is going to be a bit more industrious. I've also got a few other ideas. Obviously, Price War 3. I've got a big file of ideas. I'm going to be working on another standalone thriller novella, so stay tuned for that.
Good.
Hopefully going to be starting that this year. If you want to hear more about that, then you know what to do. Subscribe
to the newsletter. I love it.
Bye, Adrian. Thanks for chilling out.
Thanks for being here. I've got a book with, well, not your name on it, JC's name on it, I guess. Don't even worry about it, CB. We're all good. Richard, anything else big coming up with you lately? Any content people should be watching for, or stuff they should know?
Apart from books, not really. I'm just focusing on the books. So sign up to that newsletter, because that's where it all comes out first. And if you sign up to my newsletter, please open my newsletter and click the links. So that's good for my stats.
I should do that now, because I bet I didn't. You just sent one, didn't you?
I did.
Oh boy.
And also, if you've signed up, also sign up your spouse, partner, friends, family. Use your work account. Go for it.
Your boss's account?
Maybe ask them first. If you have access to other friends and family's accounts, do that as well.
You found your sign. You did.
I did find it. Isn't it good? It was over there after all in the mess. And thank you, JC. I'm glad you enjoyed my newsletter. I do try with it. I think this is a bit of a loaded question, as Gary is a filmmaker. He wants to direct it, so we shall see.
He should then buy his book, sign up for his newsletter, open the newsletter, sign up your friends, open the newsletter, and make sure everyone else does too, and leave 5-star reviews no matter what. That's all.
And open the newsletter.
Wonderful. Richard Holliday.
This was fun.
You do an outro. This was fun. It's always fun. It's always madness and chaos. We gave away 6 books.
We did. We tried to give away more.
We really did.
We just couldn't stop giving them away, could we?
No. It's addictive, and you just can't stop once you start.
Yeah, especially when you're paying for most of them.
I know. Poor Ricky. All right. I'm going to give you full screen to do an outro for yourself. Hold up that book as much as you can. All of the links for this book and all of the ones ahead and in the past are in the description box below, as well as the newsletter, the website, and all the places to find him, including the correct Twitter account, which your website has the old one, FYI.
Thank you. Also, I'm not on TikTok.
Not yet. So full screen, take it away. Tell them all about yourself.
Thank you. This was really fun. Thanks to everyone for turning up to support my book launch. If you wouldn't mind giving this a read, you get it for free on Kindle Unlimited. If you sign up to my newsletter soon, I will be giving away the prologue on the first 3 chapters, because I just can't stop giving this away. Just thanks to everyone for tuning in, hanging out. We had a little bit of chaos, a little bit of fun, and gave away some stuff. And this was great fun. So buy this. Buy it now. Or go on Kindle Unlimited and do it, because then you don't have to pay, and I just get some of Jeff Bezos' spaceship money, which makes everyone happy, surely.
Exactly. I was just about to say, if you have KU, check it out there, get those page reads, and don't forget to leave a review. Richard, I appreciate you as always. Everyone in chat, I love y'all. You're amazing. If I owe you a book like JC, let me know, because I'm old and I forget. Miss y'all. Miss doing this. Forgot how much fun this is.
Yeah, it's good fun.
It is. Bye, everybody.